Top 10 recommendations for building the ultimate morning routine to build your success. Coming up. Hi everyone, this is Ernesto from AttaBoyCowBoy, and on this channel, we give you health and wealth tips to help you be more successful. Now today we're going to talk about the top 10 steps that I use to build the ultimate morning routine to build success. Now I talk to patients, students, I talk to people and they ask me, hey, what's your morning routine? What's your routine like? And let me tell you, morning routine is fundamental to anyone's success, in my opinion. I read a lot of autobiographies. I really like to read, and I like to study how people do stuff. And if you're not into it, I really suggest reading autobiographies. It's a good thing because you read about Steve Jobs and you read about Thomas Edison and all these really famous, successful people, and you find out some really interesting things about them. You learn that you have a lot in common with them, a lot more than you probably thought you did. And you learn to draw out some of the behaviors that they used to help them build success and bring them into your life to help you build success. So in my routine, I've put it together over the years and I've added and subtracted stuff. I've read a lot of stuff to help support it. And this is what I ultimately came up with. So I'm gonna give you the top 10. Number one is when I wake up in the morning, the first thing I do is I do my deep breathing exercises. And the first thing I do, I have another video on breathing, but I breathe in through my nose, push my stomach out, and then exhale through pursed lips as I bring my stomach in. So I do about 5 of those, and I take my time. I do while I'm laying down. What that does, a few things. One thing, it helps expand your lungs, and that helps create nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is a really strong anti-aging chemical in your body. And it's really hard to make. It's a vasodilator, so it helps open up your veins in your body, kind of like drinking coffee, helps the blood get circulating, helps relax your mind, helps increase and sharpen cognitive function. It wakes you up. So it's really good. It gets blood flowing to everywhere. The second step is meditation. Do some mindful meditation. And a lot of times I'll integrate the two. While I'm thinking about what I got to do or whatever, I'll stop, I'll do my breathing, and while I'm breathing, I'll close my eyes and I'll start meditating. I'll start focusing in on something, or a lot of times I just focus on nothing. I just try to focus on keeping my mind blank, like a blank sheet of paper. It takes a practice. And I just focus on my breathing. And while I'm breathing, I just meditate, and it's really interesting. If you've never done meditation, I strongly recommend it. Again, it helps sharpen your mind, helps relax you, helps increase cognitive function. And while I'm meditating, I start seeing things that appear, or I start hearing voices. And what'll start happening is I'll start hearing my body. Messages start coming to me, and I get inspiration. A lot of people say it's God. I think it's God. I think it's God speaking to me through my body. And he actually starts giving me suggestions and messages, and he makes me think about things. A lot of times what I hear in my meditations is to remember, treat others how you would like to be treated. Be kind. You get put in these situations, sometimes you have to make some difficult decisions, but always try to be kind to people and be a good person. So a lot of that comes, a lot of times I get motivation, I get inspiration for writing. A lot of really good creative things come out when I meditate. So, meditate for about a few minutes. I meditate maybe 5 minutes while I'm doing my breathing. I'll start off for breathing, and then I'll just stay quiet and I'll just lay in bed and I'll think. So meditation is number 2. Step number 3, I get hydrated. I like to get a big glass of water, maybe like 3 or 4 glasses, and I squeeze fresh lemons into it. And I drink that every morning. The reason why I do that is because I had this really cool experience. I got this watch at CES, which is the Consumer Electronics Expo in Vegas. They have it every year. It's where they unveil all the latest gadgets and inventions from Apple and all the big companies. And this watch was really cool. It measures your blood pressure, it measured your hydration levels, and a bunch of other stuff. And what it showed me was these graphs. It was really interesting. It showed my hydration levels when I went to sleep, and it slowed a steady decline throughout the night. So when I woke up every morning, I was dehydrated. And most of us wake up dehydrated every morning. That's why your mouth is kind of sticky in the morning sometimes. So it's really important to get hydrated, because water and being hydrated affects how well your muscles move, your joints move, your brain works, your eyesight, your hearing, basically everything. So remember, we're about 80–90% water. So your body needs water. You need to get hydrated. So I noticed after I drank a lot of water, my hydration levels went up and I woke up naturally. It naturally wakes you up without having to drink coffee in the morning. So water is really important. It also helps detoxify your body. That's why I add the lemon water to it. The lemon helps detoxify you. Now I get patients that tell me, well, I'm not dirty. You know, I don't smoke, I don't drink. Okay, those are the extremes. But humans, we build up toxins every day. I mean, I live in Los Angeles. Look at this beautiful city behind me. But there's a lot of people driving cars. There's factories. There's a lot of pollution in the air everywhere pretty much now. So you're breathing that in and it's building up in your body. So you need to get that out. And one way is to drink water with lemon. Think of like a dirty driveway. Like you can sweep it, but sometimes there's like stuff stuck there that just doesn't get off. You have to get the water hose and wash it out. So drinking water is good early in the morning because it cleans everything out, kind of like that driveway. When you're asleep, your body's working on repair all throughout the night. It's fixing things. Your cells are doing a lot of repair for damages. They're trying to get rid of toxins. They're getting rid of pollutants. And remember, your body creates its own natural pollutants also because it's doing this metabolism. It's bringing in food, it's mixing it with oxygen, and it goes through something called the Krebs cycle. And it makes ATP, which is the energy your body uses. So it's doing that throughout the day. That's what keeps you alive, this metabolism, but it creates byproduct, which is like urine and feces, but also other toxins. So drinking that lemon and that water helps get it out of your body. The lemon obviously is vitamin C, so it's good for your immune system. It's great for your skin, and it's great for your immune system. It also helps release things in your liver, because your liver is like your filter in your body. It catches a lot of the waste. So it's kind of like bleach. It helps clean that stuff out of there. Now you can use the lemon juice in a bottle, that's fine, but I prefer the fresh one. It's obviously gonna be a lot more potent and you're gonna get a lot more benefits from it. So again, drink water every morning. I really recommend that. And it helps you go to the bathroom in the morning, number 2, because it helps get your intestines moving also, because a lot of your water in your body, your reserve water, is actually stored in your intestines. So as you get dehydrated, your body starts sucking water out of your intestines, your brain, your heart, your organs, but it makes it tighten. So it causes constipation. So a lot of times patients that are constipated or people that have chronic constipation, it's because they don't drink enough water. Their intestines are tight. So drinking water will actually cause them blow up like a balloon, and it makes them soft, and it relaxes them, and it makes it easier to go to the bathroom. So it's really important to go to the bathroom every morning if you can, because again, that helps get those toxins out of your body. Your body's been working all day. You want to get it out of you. So water. Tip number 4, and actually I should have said this before the water, but I'm going to say it now. It's weigh yourself. I actually do this right before I weigh myself, so I don't take on the extra water. But I get up out of bed after a meditation, I jump on the scale, and I keep a log on my phone. I tally every day what my weight is, and I keep track of it. Now, 80% of Americans are overweight. And in a lot of places in the world, no matter where you live, there's a lot of obesity now because of all the processed food we eat. So it's a good idea to keep track of your weight so you can be mindful of what you're eating every day. I didn't realize how powerful this was, so I started doing it. I've read about it for years, and one of my friends, Justin, told me, dude, you gotta try this. I do it every day, and it really helps me keep my weight down. And you know what? It's cool because I do it every morning. I write it down on my iPhone, and I see my weight. And then when I see myself go up like 0.2 or half a pound in a day, I say, whoa, that pizza I ate yesterday really had a big effect. I mean, there's days where I'll literally vary like 3 or 4 pounds from one day to the next. And I could think back and I say, wow, you know, I ate a big pizza a day before. And all that salt caused me to retain a lot of water. So I gained 4 pounds. So it makes me think twice about eating junk food or eating things that are not good for me. So I find it really effective. In fact, the days where I get up and I gained a few pounds, I kind of think throughout the day when I'm eating in the back of my head, I say, you know what, I'm not gonna eat that cheesecake, or I'm gonna eat a little bit less, or hey, I'm gonna eat a little bigger salad today, or I'm gonna cut the cheese out of my, my veggie burger, something like that. And I don't really have to be real strict about it. It's just like this kind of personal goal. So it's a really strong motivator. So I recommend it. And definitely write it down in your phone so you can kind of see where you're at. And I'll tell you, I was weighing in at 216, and that's a little too high for me. I want to weigh around 200. That's a good weight for myself. So right now I'm down to like 212 and a half. I'm still trying to get my weight down, but it's an ongoing thing. I work on it. And like I said, I just keep track of it and just keep cutting my calories down and doing things like that to lower the weight. Tip number 5, open the curtains and let the sunlight in. In fact, sometimes I'll get out of bed and I'll open the curtains and I'll meditate with the sunlight hitting me. If there isn't much light where you are, go sit on your steps or go sit outside where the sun can hit you. It's a really important thing. I'll tell you about these experiences I have when I used to do horticulture therapy. There's these flowers called jasmine, star jasmine, and they smell really pretty, but they're closed all day. And they only open up at night when it's dark, and they let out this really beautiful aroma. I mean, they'll only open during the day and then they'll close at night, or back and forth, right? They're dependent on sun. So it just kind of reminds you that plants, animals, humans, we're all tied to the environment, and we're predominantly dependent on the sun. We're dependent on the sun for everything. Without the sun, there would be no life here, right? So we have something in our body called circadian rhythms. And that's where basically your body ties in with the environment around you, with the sun, with the air, with everything else. And it kind of puts your body into a rhythm. That's why when people travel to different time zones, like they go to another country, their sleeping's off, their eating's off. It's their circadian rhythms that are off because their body is not accustomed to that environment, it hasn't acclimated to it. So you want to tie yourself into the environment as much as you can. Exposing yourself to sunlight actually stimulates parts of your brain and regulates your sleep-wake cycle. It also helps regulate your hormones. There's hormones that your body releases in the morning, and there's hormones that it releases at night to help you sleep, and at different times of the day for different types of activities. So getting yourself going by exposing yourself to sunlight will actually help you lose weight, help you regulate your weight, and keep you sharp in the mornings and get your hormones in line. So don't underestimate the importance of sunlight. In fact, during the day when you're doing things, you should always go out and get some sunlight all throughout the day. Try to keep your body in sync with things. Tip number 6, exercise. Exercising in the morning is the best time to do it. I've done it at times at night, in the middle of the day, etc. But there's nothing like exercising first thing in the morning. There's a lot of reasons why. Physiologically, it accelerates your metabolism. So it's gonna keep you going throughout the day. You're actually gonna burn calories at a much higher rate all throughout the day if you do it in the mornings. And it also is gonna keep you sharp. If you run a business or you work wherever you work, you're gonna need to make good decisions. You wanna be sharp. So exercising keeps you sharp, helps keep your weight under control, and obviously it's gonna make you healthier. So first thing in the morning is ideal. As much as you can do, if you can't go to the gym, do it in your house, do some push-ups, some jumping jacks. Try to do at least 30 minutes, depending on your schedule. If you can go up to an hour, 1 hour a day of exercise is ideal. Beyond 1 hour a day is actually not good for you. It causes more aging. So I recommend trying at least an hour a day in the mornings. Tip number 7, stretch. Now, I read a lot of interesting articles by, fitness people, and they talk about stretching. They don't like stretching and say it's not necessary, etc., etc. But, as a clinician, I think that's not true. Stretching is fundamental. In fact, when you hit 40, you lose about 6% of your mobility per year. And actually, it starts much younger if you don't eat well or you're not very active. So stretching is really important, and physiologically, it's basic. When you're stretching your tissue out, it's gonna open up your vessels. You're gonna get more oxygen in, you're gonna get more nutrients in. It's gonna help heal damaged tissue, and it's also gonna help feed it so it can grow and get stronger, especially if you exercise or lift weights or something like that. And also your joints, you wanna keep your joints really mobile. If you get stiff, Again, I've seen people in their 20s that are really stiff because they sit at home playing video games all day. You're more likely to break things, and that means you're not getting a lot of circulation. So a lot of bad things happen when you're not limber. And it's also going to make you better, like at dancing or rock climbing or whatever type of activities you like to engage in. You want to make sure that you're maintaining your mobility. So make sure you stretch, and stretching is quick. It's only like 30 seconds each joint. You don't need to go beyond that. So I'll put a copy of my stretch routine on there so you can take a look at it. But it usually only takes me like 2 or 3 minutes to stretch. It's quick. So it's not a big time investment. You can do it quickly. Tip number 8, don't eat. I typically don't eat in the mornings. I know we've always been trained to eat first thing in the morning, breakfast of champions and all that kind of stuff. That was actually coined by Kellogg's, a lot of those phrases, when they're trying to sell cereal to people. But actually, there's a lot of research that shows eating first thing in the morning is not the best for you, because when you wake up in the morning, think about it. Remember we talked about the dehydration? Well, your body's been working all night, so it's actually been using a lot of the energy you have. So you wake up in the morning and your body's hungry. That's why they call it breakfast. Fast is when you don't eat. They tell you to eat breakfast to break the fast, right? But you can do it at the right time. When you wake up in the morning, your insulin levels are really high because you haven't eaten all night. So whatever you eat, your body's going to suck up a lot of those calories and it's going to store it as fat. So you don't want to help facilitate that. You want to exercise, which is going to lower your insulin levels, and drink lots of water, which also lowers your insulin levels. And then eat, because then you're not going to eat as much and you're not going to store as much. So it's going to help you control your weight. So, and the other thing is, they always recommend the morning like hot cakes and waffles and fruit and cereals and all this stuff. You want to eat the carbs and the sugar actually at the end of the day, not in the morning. I actually flip it around. In the morning, you want to eat high protein. That helps activate your brain. And carbs at night actually help you sleep. So eat protein stuff in the morning. I typically try to eat it about a half hour after my exercise. If I exercise really early in the morning, because I get up early, I don't like to eat that early, I'll drink a glass of soy milk. That has a lot of protein in it, and it also helps hydrate me. So that's a good beverage in the morning, is to have some soy milk. I really recommend soy milk. It's great for your health. Tip number 9, and this is actually one of the most important ones. Again, I had this friend, he was telling me, dude, I got a lot of stuff to do today. Oh yeah, what do you got going on? He'll tell me, well, I got to go to the DMV. I got to call my doctor, talk to him this. I got to call the insurance company about this, a bunch of stuff. I go, oh, okay. Day goes by, I talk to them, and they go, hey man, how did it go today? Did you talk to the insurance company? Did you do this, do that? No, man, I just didn't want to deal with it, man. I'm gonna do it tomorrow. It's just too much stress, it stressed me out. I had too many stuff. That's pretty normal. We wake up in the morning and it's like, okay, now I got all this stuff to do the whole day, right? You gotta eat, you gotta take your kids to soccer practice, you gotta make phone calls, you gotta go to work, you gotta talk to your boss. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on. And you can manage all that stuff in your brain, but there's a better way to do it. You wanna be effective, you wanna be time efficient, and you don't wanna stress, you wanna be cool. I got a lot of stuff going on every day, and you gotta keep it under control, regardless of your schedule. You wanna do the best you can at stuff. So I have a notebook that I use, and I write my goals out. And I have 4 categories. I have daily goals, weekly goals, monthly goals, and yearly goals. And I write them out. And then what I do is every day I update them. I might not update my yearly goals every day or my monthly every day, but sometimes I do. Because I think of new stuff that needs to get done, and I'll write it down. I just keep adding to the list. And then as I do the things during the day, it's like a game. Again, it keeps you motivated. And it really is kind of fun. I get a pen out and I cross the stuff out. Okay, I did this, I did that. Okay, I achieved this. If you think about when you were a kid in school and you did something good and your teacher gave you one of those gold stars, or they gave you one of those certificates they print up on the printer, it's really nothing, but it feels good. It feels good to accomplish things. It feels good when your teacher gave you that, or when someone, your boss or your friends goes, hey man, you're doing a really good job at that, whatever it is. It feels good to accomplish things. That's just part of being a human. So when you cross things off your list, it actually feels really good. You feel like you achieve stuff, and it keeps you really organized, and it helps me do a lot more stuff and better. I find myself when I do those lists, I actually get everything done, and I have time to do other stuff. So I get to chill out, I get to do whatever. I get to spend extra time writing or whatever it might be. So it's really good at helping you be effective at stuff. I really recommend goal writing. And again, it only takes a few minutes. It maybe takes me 3 to 5 minutes in the morning to write stuff out. It's really quick. You don't have to put a lot of time into it. And if I think of things during the day, I usually keep my notebook pretty close by. I just add it in. You can also do it on your iPhone, but I like doing it on a piece of paper so I could cross them out because it feels good. But when I have done it on my iPhone, I just put a little X next to it like it's done. that helps also. Tip number 10, be conscious of decision fatigue. Now, let me explain that a little bit. That's been studied profoundly by psychologists, and they find that we make the best decisions early in the morning, and you can only make a certain amount of good decisions a day. Then after that, they start dropping off. You know, 90% is good, 80%, 70%, 60, etc. And it keeps just dropping off. So obviously you want to make the best decisions early in the morning. So I look at my goal sheet in the morning after I've made it. That's why I do the goals early in the morning, because I know I'm going to do my best at it. And I tackle the most important things I need to do for the day first thing in the morning. I make the most important phone calls. I make the most important financial decisions. Everything I got to do that's the most important is done probably in the first hour of my day. And after that, of course, you're making decisions all day, like what am I going to eat, what am I going to dress, whatever. All that stuff is fine, but that's not as important. See, that's the issue. When you wake up in the morning, if you start thinking about, okay, what am I going to eat for dinner today? What am I going to eat about breakfast? What am I going to eat for lunch? What am I going to wear today? That actually eats up your best decisions. Those count as decisions. So you don't want to waste your brain and your best decisions on food. You want to waste it on things that are important, like for your business or for your career or whatever. So let's say you have 10 good decisions you can make a day. Do you really want to wake up and waste them on what sweater you're going to make? Of course, you're going to wear for the day? Of course not. So I use them for my most important things. After I'm done with my 10 items for my morning routine, then I just go about my day and do everything else. Now, how long does this all take me? About an hour and 10 minutes. I like to exercise for about an hour, and then all the other things, even though they sound like they take a long time, they take about 10-15 minutes. So I'm usually done in about an hour and 15 minutes. Like if you say, okay, well, I don't have time in the morning. Well, we wake up a little earlier, get these things done so you'll be a lot effective for the rest of the day. Now, this is what you need to do if you want to be really effective at life. If you want to be really efficient, you want to be really successful, you need to plan. You need to plan things out. You need to do things methodically. You need to come up with a system. This is the first step in that system, is building an effective morning routine. This is going to make you much more effective and successful at getting things accomplished, okay? Thank you for listening. If you have any comments, please comment below. Thank you.